Your journey doesn't begin when everything is perfect. It begins right where you are, with what you have. This is not just a statement, it's a powerful truth that can change how you approach your life today. Too often, people wait for the right time, the right tools, or the right circumstances before they start making progress. But waiting only delays your growth and steals your potential. What if the key to real change is to stop looking for excuses and start working with the reality in front of you? This message is for anyone who feels stuck, overwhelmed, or unsure about how to move forward. It's a reminder that your current situation, no matter how limited or imperfect, holds everything you need to begin. You don't need to reinvent yourself overnight. You don't need approval or external validation. What matters is the decision to take action now, using the resources, skills, and mindset you already possess. If you're ready to shift your mindset, build resilience, and create lasting momentum, this guide will show you how to start exactly where you are and transform your life step by step. The power is in your hands. Chapter 1. Own your starting point without blaming your past. You want to change your life, start where you are. That's the truth, not where you wish you were, not where someone else is. Right here, right now, that's where your life begins to turn around. That's where the change starts to happen. But here's what most people do. They look back, they look behind, they replay every bad decision, they blame their childhood, they blame the people who left, they blame what they didn't get, and they let the past take over the present. You can't build a new future with old pain controlling your mind. You've got to stop dragging your past into every conversation with yourself. You have to stop using your past as the reason you can't grow. Look, we've all got scars, we've all got regrets, we've all said the wrong thing, done the wrong thing, or stayed too long in a place that wasn't right. But those moments, those choices, they are not your identity. They are just moments, just a part of the story. You don't throw out the whole book because one chapter was difficult. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not stuck unless you decide to stay there. What you are is human. What you are is in control right now. And if you don't take control now, no one will take it for you. No new year, no new week, no new motivation is going to rescue you from a mindset that's still focused on blaming and not building. There comes a time when you have to look in the mirror and say, this is what I've got, this is where I am, and this is where I begin. That is the most powerful thing you can do for yourself. That level of self-responsibility, that emotional ownership, that's where strength begins. That's where clarity starts to show up. You don't need the perfect background. You don't need approval from others. You don't need more time. You need to stop making the past the excuse for not moving forward. Too many people waste years trying to rewrite the history in their heads instead of writing the next page of their lives. It's not that your past doesn't matter. It does. But it's not the final word. It's not where your power comes from. Your power is in what you choose to do today, right now, this hour, this decision. That's what matters. And I'll tell you something else. Some people get addicted to the story of their pain. They start to wear it like a badge. I went through this. I was hurt by that. I never had this. And that becomes the most repeated thing about them. They carry it like it gives them identity. But pain is not a purpose. Pain is not a strategy. Pain is not something you build your future on. It's something you learn from. That's it. There's no power in pointing fingers. There's no freedom in always needing someone or something to blame. Blame delays growth. Blame keeps you bitter. Blame keeps you blind to the real truth, that you're capable of more than you're doing right now. You don't change your life by waiting for an apology. You don't level up by waiting for someone to recognize what you've been through. That's not how success works. You've got to move whether people understand you or not, whether they believe in you or not, whether your past looks clean or messy. Your life is your responsibility, not your parents', not your partner, not your boss, yours. And it doesn't matter how long you've been stuck. It doesn't matter how far you feel behind. Every day is a new starting line if you treat it like one. You wake up and you take responsibility for how you think, how you act, and how you show up. There are people who've had every reason to give up, but they didn't. Why? Because they chose to take full ownership of where they stood. They didn't spend their energy trying to undo the past. They used what they had, what they knew, and they started building something real. And you can do the same. Your job now is not to be perfect. Your job now is not to impress anyone. Your job now is not to overthink. Your job now is to own where you are. If your mindset is weak, admit it. If your discipline is missing, admit it. If your habits are poor, admit it, and then get to work on changing those things. Stop hiding from your reality. That's not strength. Strength is facing it head on. Strength is saying, this is where I am, and I won't stay here forever. That's power. That's confidence. That's the start of a serious transformation. You don't need to compare yourself to someone 5 years ahead of you. That's not helpful. You don't know their story. You don't know their challenges. All you see is the result, not the process, and comparing your current place to their highlight reel only steals your focus from the one thing you can control, your own next move. It's not your past that's holding you back. It's your mindset about your past. It's the story you keep repeating in your mind. Change the story. Change the direction. You owe that to yourself. Do you know how progress actually begins? It's not some magical moment. It's not some lucky break. It begins the moment you say, no more excuses, no more blaming, no more delays. That moment creates momentum, and once momentum kicks in, you don't stop. You adjust, you improve, you build stronger routines, you rebuild your belief system, you learn how to trust yourself again. The truth is, you can turn your entire life around, starting with a single choice to take ownership. You can become stronger, you can become wiser, you can become more focused, but not if you keep your eyes locked on the rearview mirror. Life is happening forward, and it's calling for your full attention. Start now. Look at what's in front of you. What do you have today? A little time, a tired mind, a bit of energy, a small idea. Use it. Use all of it. It doesn't matter if it's not enough. What matters is that you use what you've got. That's how more shows up. If you only take action when everything feels right, you'll never move. Growth doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It waits for your decision. The decision to get serious. The decision to stop being casual about your future. The decision to say, I'll do what I can with what I've got. Every strong person you admire, they started somewhere. And most of them, they started at the bottom. They started with no confidence, no support, no clear path, just a choice to stop blaming and start building. That's what separates the ones who make it from the ones who stay stuck. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to drag you forward. But that's not bad news. That's the best news, because it means you are the one in control now. You are the one who gets to decide how the rest of your story is written. So look around. Take inventory. You're not as lost as you think. You're not as broken as you feel. You've got something inside you that hasn't even been tested yet, and it all starts with owning exactly where you are right now, without shame, without blame, without delay. This moment is your turning point. You don't need a better past. You need a stronger mindset. You don't need more luck. You need more action. You don't need someone else to believe in you. You need to believe in yourself enough to get started, and once you start, stay consistent. That's the secret. Not speed, not perfection, just consistency. Show up every day for yourself. Show up when it's hard. Show up when you don't feel like it. Because showing up is how you rebuild trust in yourself. It's not too late. You haven't missed your chance. You're not too old. You're not too young. You're not too broken. What you are is alive. And as long as you're alive, you've got time. Use it well. Use it now. Start where you are. Learn to work with what you have. And don't stop until your life starts to look like the one you know you're capable of building. Chapter 2. Do one small thing that improves your situation. Most people wait for something big to happen before they do something about their lives. They think they need more time, more money, or some perfect moment. But life doesn't wait for any of that. The truth is, most change doesn't come from a huge step. It comes from doing one small thing that makes your situation better than it was yesterday. If your room is messy, clean one corner. If you feel stuck, write down one clear thought. If you're tired of how your days feel, go for a short walk without your phone. These things might sound small. They might sound like they don't matter, but they do. Because doing one thing, just one thing, proves to you that you're not powerless. When you're overwhelmed or uncertain, your brain starts to shut down. It's hard to plan, it's hard to think, it's even hard to care. But when you take a small action, your brain gets the message. You're not just sitting there anymore, you're moving. And movement gives your mind something new to work with. That's when your energy starts to shift. That's when your confidence starts to return. You don't have to fix your whole life today. You just need to do something that helps. That's how progress works. Not all at once, but one step at a time. Most people make the mistake of thinking they need to make a big move or wait for a fresh start. But you don't need a fresh start. You need to start where you are, with what you have. In the next 10 minutes, do something that brings a little order, a little clarity, a little momentum. That's how you begin. Maybe you've been in the same routine for too long. Maybe you've talked yourself out of making changes. Maybe you feel like it's not even worth trying. But that's exactly when doing something small matters the most, because it reminds you that you still have control. And when you feel in control again, you begin to care more about your choices. When people feel stuck, they often wait for motivation, but motivation doesn't create action. Action creates motivation. That's the part nobody wants to hear. You don't get the feeling first. You get the results first, and the feeling follows. You clean up your space, and you feel a little lighter. You drink more water, and you feel more awake. You speak up once, and you feel a little braver. That's the formula. You act. You notice the difference. You start to believe again. Sometimes it's not even about the task. It's about proving to yourself that you're not giving up. That even if everything feels heavy, you're still willing to take a step. That's where self-respect grows, not from how big your goal is, but from how consistent your effort is. You don't need to impress anyone. You don't need to post about it. You don't need to talk about your plan. Just take action quietly. Get something done. Finish something. Fix something. Learn something. Improve one area of your life, even just a little. That's how you rebuild momentum. Your job is not to figure out everything all at once. Your job is to move one thing forward. That could mean paying a bill you've been avoiding. It could mean apologizing to someone you hurt. It could mean finally organizing your schedule. Whatever it is, pick one thing and do it today. Because when you delay it, it doesn't just sit there. It grows heavier. It steals your focus. It feeds your anxiety. And the longer you put it off, the more it drains your energy. Taking action is how you take your power back. There's something powerful about keeping a promise to yourself, even a small one, like getting out of bed when you said you would, like making your bed before you leave the room. These things seem tiny, but they build something real inside of you. They remind you that your words mean something, that your time matters, that your choices count. That's how you build trust in yourself again. If your life feels out of control, that's even more reason to bring order to one piece of it. You don't need to fix everything today, but you do need to fix something. That's how you send a message to your mind that says, I'm not just surviving anymore, I'm working on it. It's easy to think that small actions don't matter, but that thinking is what keeps people stuck for years. Big results are made up of thousands of small decisions, and the people who change their lives are the ones who take those small decisions seriously. They know that one day of effort won't change everything, but they also know that doing nothing will definitely change nothing. You can shift your entire direction in life by starting with something manageable. Wake up earlier, cook one meal instead of ordering out, read 10 pages instead of scrolling for an hour. These actions may not seem important, but they move you closer to the person you want to become. That's what matters. That's what real change is made of. When you take small steps every day, you stop feeling like a victim of your own life. You stop waiting for someone to come fix things. You realize that the ability to improve is in your hands, and that's where confidence grows, not from perfection, but from progress. If you keep doing the same things, you will keep getting the same results. That's not a theory, that's a fact. So if you want better outcomes, you need to do something different today. Start with one thing, just one, and do it fully, with focus, with care, with the attitude that says, this matters because I matter. The difference between staying stuck and moving forward is often one decision, one task, one moment where you stop overthinking and just act. No overplanning, no second guessing, just action. That's the separator. The people who change their lives are not the ones who always feel ready. They're the ones who get tired of being stuck and finally do something about it. Think of one thing right now in your life that needs attention, something you've avoided, something small that could make your day feel just a little better. Now go do it. Not tomorrow, not after more thinking. Now, that's how you shift your state. That's how you shift your identity. That's how you tell your mind that the version of you who doesn't care is not the one in charge anymore. Your energy starts to return when you take responsibility. Your focus starts to return when you stop avoiding what's in front of you. And your peace starts to return when you stop lying to yourself about what needs to be done. Don't make it complicated. Simplicity wins. One decision, one task, one effort. Do it, then do another tomorrow. That's the path. It's not always easy, but it's always available. The people who succeed in life are not special. They're not lucky. They're not superhuman. They're just people who stopped waiting. People who started small and never stopped. People who took one step, then another, and refused to go back to where they were. Your life doesn't change when everything gets better. Your life changes the moment you decide to do one small thing that makes today better than yesterday. That's it. That's the entry point. You don't have to feel like it. You don't need perfect timing. You just need to care enough to start. And once you do that, you'll realize this was never about having more. It was about doing more with what's already in front of you. That's how real change begins. That's how your future is built. One small action, one honest effort, one better choice at a time.
Chapter 3. Face your truth, even if it makes you uncomfortable. There's something powerful about finally being honest with yourself. Not the kind of honesty you say out loud to impress others. The kind of honesty you feel when no one's watching. The kind that stings a little. The kind that makes you uncomfortable. That's the truth that changes your life. That's the truth that pushes you to grow. Most people don't face that truth because it's easier to pretend. It's easier to act like things are fine, but nothing changes when you hide from what's real. Facing your truth means admitting the things you don't want to admit. Maybe you've been lazy. Maybe you've been distracted. Maybe you've let people use you. Maybe you've been making excuses. These are not things anyone wants to hear, especially not from themselves. But if you want to change your life, you've got to start there. You can't build on a lie. You can't grow from a place of denial. You need to see yourself clearly, not perfectly but honestly. You can't keep telling yourself stories that make you feel better, but lead you nowhere. Saying, "I don't have time" when you waste hours a day isn't the truth. Saying, "I don't know where to start" when you've never taken 5 minutes to plan isn't the truth. Saying, "I can't help it" when you haven't even tried isn't the truth. These aren't facts. They're mental shortcuts. They're escape routes you build to avoid doing the hard work of facing what's really going on. But here's the thing. The discomfort that comes with being honest is not there to destroy you. It's there to wake you up. That sharp feeling in your chest when you realize you're not living the way you should. That's the beginning of growth. That's the starting point for real change. When you finally stop pretending, you give yourself permission to start improving. Everyone wants to be confident. Everyone wants to feel strong. But real confidence doesn't come from faking it. It comes from self-respect. And self-respect is earned when you stop lying to yourself about who you are and what you've been doing. It's built when you admit the truth, even if it's messy. Especially if it's messy. There's a reason most people stay stuck. It's not because they don't have talent. It's not because they don't have potential. It's because they don't want to feel the discomfort of honesty. They'd rather stay numb than admit they've been playing small. They'd rather point fingers than turn the mirror toward themselves. But progress only happens when you face what's holding you back, and sometimes the thing holding you back is you. Facing your truth might mean admitting that you've settled for less, that you've lowered your standards, that you've let your emotions control your days, that you've been passive with your time. And when that hits you, it's heavy. It's not a pleasant feeling, but it's a necessary one, because that's when you realize you've got work to do. That's when the real shift begins. Nobody grows by staying comfortable. Nobody improves by avoiding reality. The people who rise are the ones who stop sugarcoating their problems. They say, I'm not where I want to be, and I know exactly why. That level of self-awareness is rare, and it's powerful, because once you know the truth, you can do something about it. You can't fix what you won't face. You can't change what you won't confront. The truth is the first step, not the final step, but without it, you never begin. Think about the things in your life that keep repeating. The same bad habits, the same toxic cycles, the same regrets. Now ask yourself, what truth have you been avoiding that keeps this pattern alive? It's not enough to blame people. It's not enough to say life is hard. What have you been doing that makes it harder? What part of the problem do you own? That's where the breakthrough lives. When you start facing your truth, you feel exposed at first. Vulnerable. Like you've just been standing in front of yourself without any filters. But stay there. Don't run from that feeling. Let it teach you. Let it guide you. Because behind that feeling is your potential. Behind that discomfort is the version of you who's been waiting to come forward. You don't become stronger by ignoring your weaknesses. You become stronger by looking them in the eye and saying, I'm not going to run from you anymore. That's how you build character. That's how you build discipline. That's how you build a mindset that won't break under pressure. There's peace on the other side of honesty. It might not feel peaceful at first, but it's there. Once you admit your truth, there's nothing left to hide. You don't have to carry the weight of pretending anymore. You don't have to fake your way through conversations or tell people you're okay when you're not. You just focus on doing better. That's real freedom. And facing your truth doesn't mean beating yourself up. It means being real enough to say, this is where I've been. This is what I've allowed. This is what I've avoided. But I'm done living like that. It means holding yourself accountable without shame. Because the goal isn't to feel bad, it's to feel responsible. To stop outsourcing your power. To stop blaming the world and start managing your part. It takes courage to admit that you've let yourself down. But it also takes power. And once you find that power, you start making better choices. You stop chasing shortcuts. You stop trying to look good on the outside while you're falling apart inside. You start fixing things for real, quietly, honestly, consistently. Most people run from their truth because they're afraid of what it will cost them. Maybe it'll cost their comfort. Maybe their image. Maybe their relationships. But the truth doesn't take things from you. It sets you free from things you never needed in the first place. It frees you from lies, from guilt, from confusion. And that freedom is what allows you to build something solid. The longer you wait to face your truth, the heavier it becomes. It doesn't go away. It just sits there, buried under distraction and denial. And the more you ignore it, the more it controls you. But the moment you face it, it loses its power. It becomes something you can handle, something you can learn from, something you can rise above. And maybe your truth is that you've been wasting time, or that you've been afraid to commit, or that you've been making decisions based on fear, not purpose. Whatever it is, face it, feel it, then deal with it. That's how you grow. That's how you become someone you can be proud of. You don't need to announce your truth to the world. You don't need to justify it to anyone. You just need to sit with it, understand it, and use it as a starting point. Because once you're real with yourself, everything else becomes clear. The confusion lifts, the excuses fade, and what's left is a path, one that you now have the strength to walk. Growth doesn't come from pretending. It comes from telling yourself the truth and still choosing to move forward. It comes from being uncomfortable and still choosing to do what's right. It comes from looking at where you've been and deciding that it's not where you're going to stay. No one's perfect. No one gets it all right. But the people who get better are the ones who stop hiding, the ones who stop escaping into distractions, the ones who stop blaming the world and start showing up for themselves. That's who you want to become. Face your truth, even if it's hard, even if it hurts, even if it shakes everything you've believed about yourself, because behind that truth is a version of you that's more focused, more aware, more grounded, and that version is who you were always meant to be. Not perfect, not finished, but real, and finally free to grow.
Chapter 4. Stop chasing perfect and work with what's real. One of the biggest reasons people stay stuck is because they keep waiting for everything to be perfect. They wait for the perfect mood, the perfect energy, the perfect support, the perfect schedule, or the perfect plan. But life doesn't work that way, and success doesn't wait for things to line up. If you're always chasing perfect, you will miss real progress. You'll delay everything that matters because you're too focused on conditions that don't exist. You have to stop believing that you need more before you start. That mindset keeps you in the same place. What you have right now is enough to begin. It may not be everything you want, but it's more than enough to get moving. That's where real growth begins. Not in waiting, not in wishing, but in doing something with what's already in front of you. Chasing perfection is just another form of fear. It looks productive, but it's really just avoidance. It gives you a reason to delay action. It gives you something to hide behind. It lets you feel like you're preparing, when deep down you're just scared of getting it wrong. But here's what you have to understand. Getting it wrong is part of getting it right. Every person who ever built anything meaningful started messy, started confused, started without knowing the outcome. They didn't wait to be ready. They started where they were and figured it out step by step. There is power in working with what's real. That means facing your current situation, your current mindset, your current habits, and saying, "This is what I have. This is what I can work with." It's not about lowering your standards. It's about being honest about your resources and choosing to move forward anyway. If your body's tired, rest but don't quit. If your focus is weak, simplify your day. If you don't know everything, learn as you go. That's working with what's real. That's maturity. That's responsibility. And that's how people win. There are people who've built great things out of nothing but determination. People who had no support, no certainty, no perfect timing. But they had the courage to stop chasing an ideal and start doing the actual work. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. The dreamers keep planning. The doers take the pieces they have and begin. If your life feels stuck, it's probably not because you're missing some secret strategy. It's probably because you've been trying to make everything perfect before you commit. And while you wait, your time slips away. Your momentum fades. Your opportunities pass by. Not because you weren't capable, but because you kept thinking you needed more to begin. Progress doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for effort. It asks for presence. It asks for consistency. You don't have to know all the steps. You just need to take the next one. That's how you learn.
That's how you grow. That's how you get better. Not by overthinking, but by moving forward with what you have again and again. Stop comparing your journey to someone else's. Stop measuring your worth by what you haven't done yet. You don't need to be ahead. You don't need to have it all together. You just need to be in motion, taking action in real time, making adjustments, staying honest. That's what matters. It's easy to get caught up in over-planning, easy to keep searching for the perfect method. But all that mental energy becomes a trap. The truth is, you'll never find a plan that feels 100% right before you start. Most of your clarity comes from movement, not from thinking about the path, but by walking it. And when you walk, things begin to unfold that you could never have predicted sitting still. People waste years because they keep refining the plan instead of living it. They rewrite goals, chase new tools, wait for the motivation to strike. But the real shift happens when you stop asking if you're ready and just do the work in front of you. You make mistakes. You learn. You adjust. That's how you grow something real. Perfection is a moving target. Even if you hit it today, it'll change tomorrow. So stop using it as your standard. Instead, aim for truth. Aim for effort. Aim for progress. Work with the thoughts you have, the energy you have, the tools you have. Build something from that. And over time, it will evolve into something more. You don't have to fake anything. You don't have to wait until you're in the right mood. You don't need perfect inspiration or the perfect plan. You need discipline. You need honesty, and you need to be willing to act without guarantees. There is something very real about being in the process. That's where you learn what you're made of. That's where your character is tested. It's not clean. It's not perfect. But it's real. And real is what brings results. Real is what transforms you. Real is where life happens. If you want to change your life, you need to stop waiting for it to feel easy. Start with what's in your control. Fix the next problem. Follow through on the next promise. Simplify the next hour. That's what it means to work with what's real. That's what daily improvement looks like. And don't confuse simplicity with weakness. Doing the basics well every single day is what separates people who talk about change from those who actually change. Anyone can talk about perfection, but it takes grit to work with the truth, to accept where you are, to take responsibility, and to do the next right thing. Maybe your truth today is that you're tired, or confused, or overwhelmed. Fine. Use that. Work with it. Don't let it stop you. Let it guide your next action. Take smaller steps if you have to, but take them. Show yourself that you're not defined by how you feel in the moment. Show yourself that you can move even when it's not perfect. You build strength by showing up, not by talking about it, not by planning forever, but by showing up when it's uncomfortable, when it's messy, when it's real. That's when you earn the results you want. That's when your mindset starts to change. That's when life begins to shift. Not because everything got easier, but because you got more focused. You don't need a bigger life. You need a clearer focus. You don't need a better chance. You need better follow-through. And you don't need perfect timing. You need daily discipline. That's how real progress is made. So look at your life right now. Not the version you wish existed. Not the version you post about. The real one. Where are you? What's working? What needs attention? That's your starting line. Don't judge it. Don't hide from it. Use it. Get out of your head. Get into motion. Keep it simple. and keep it honest. There's no perfect day coming, no perfect version of you waiting to appear. There's only this moment, this version, this choice. Work with that, and keep working with it. That's the foundation. That's the process. That's how you win.
Chapter 5. Build daily wins that make you feel capable. Every day is a chance to prove something to yourself. Not to the world, not to your friends, not to strangers online, but to you. Most people live their days with no direction, no structure, and no clear sense of purpose. They wake up, go through the motions, and end the day feeling like nothing changed. That kind of life drains you. It makes you doubt yourself. It makes you feel like you're not moving, even when time keeps passing. But there's a way to shift that. And it's not complicated. It's not some big achievement. It's not about becoming someone new overnight. It's about building daily wins, small, simple actions that remind you that you're capable, that you're growing, and that you're in control. You don't need to fix your whole life at once. You just need to win today. That's the goal. Not perfection, not overnight success. Just one solid win today. And tomorrow, you do it again. These wins build something inside you. They build trust. They build momentum. They give you a sense of direction. And when you feel direction, you begin to take your life seriously again. It starts with simple things. Make your bed. Finish your workout. Stick to your plan. Drink water instead of soda. Say no when it's easier to say yes. Turn off distractions and focus for 1 hour. These are not minor things. They're decisions that shape how you feel about yourself. And how you feel about yourself drives everything else. You don't get stronger by talking about discipline. You get stronger by acting with discipline, especially when it's boring, especially when it's inconvenient. That's where the self-respect grows. That's where the confidence comes from, not just when things are easy, but when you stay committed anyway. Start by making a short list of things that, if you did them today, would make you feel proud by the end of the day. Keep it simple, keep it realistic, and then commit to it fully. Not halfway, not when you feel like it, fully. The more you follow through, the more you start seeing yourself as someone who does what they say. It's not about how big the task is, it's about the fact that you did it. When you finish something, even something small, your mind starts to shift. You stop feeling helpless. You stop feeling like life is just happening to you. You realize that you're the one deciding where your energy goes, and that realization is powerful. The problem is most people don't track their wins. They finish something, then move on without acknowledging it. That's a mistake. Your brain needs evidence. Evidence that you're making progress. Evidence that your efforts matter. If you keep ignoring your wins, you'll convince yourself that you're not getting anywhere, even when you are. So celebrate your wins, not with rewards or distractions, but by recognizing them. Write them down. Say them out loud. Feel the pride that comes with finishing what you started. That feeling becomes fuel. That pride becomes momentum. And momentum builds habits that stick. It's not about chasing motivation. Motivation comes and goes. It's about creating results. Results are consistent. Results are real. And results come from small, repeatable wins. If you start the day with intention and end it with completion, your mindset changes. You're no longer just surviving the day. You're winning the day. And winning the day doesn't mean everything went right. It means you did what you said you'd do. That's how you build strength. That's how you build resilience. There's no secret formula. There's no trick.
You have to earn the feeling of progress, and you earn it through effort, honest effort, daily effort, quiet effort. That's what makes you feel grounded. That's what makes you feel proud. When you know deep down that you showed up for yourself, not once in a while, but every single day. Some days will be harder. Some days you'll feel off. But that's why these daily wins matter even more. Because on the tough days, the small wins are still within reach. And when you reach them, you prove to yourself that you can keep going even when it's not easy. If you want to build a strong mindset, you have to build it brick by brick. One decision at a time, one win at a time. And over time, those wins stack up. You start to see patterns. You start to feel different. You start to walk differently, speak differently, think differently. Not because something outside of you changed, but because you built it from the inside out. Don't underestimate the value of completing simple things. They shape your identity. They remind you that you have control, and when you feel in control, you start to raise your standards. You stop tolerating the things that keep you small. You stop giving your time and attention to things that drain you. You start focusing on what actually matters. That's the purpose of daily wins. Not to chase achievement, but to stay aligned with your values. To remind yourself that your time matters, that your effort matters, that your growth is not something you wait for, it's something you work on every day. If you've been feeling lost, unfocused, or behind, don't try to fix everything. Start by fixing today. Pick one thing that will move you forward. Do it. Finish it. Let that win remind you that you're not powerless. Let it remind you that you still care about who you're becoming. Then repeat it tomorrow. Not because you have to, but because you know that every time you follow through, you're building something real, something lasting, something solid. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be. The version of you who shows up, who follows through, who does what's necessary, regardless of how you feel. You don't need a new life. You need new daily standards. And those standards begin with how you handle your time, your choices, and your habits. That's where transformation lives. Not in big changes, but in small consistent actions that add up. Give yourself credit for the things you do well. Don't wait for someone to recognize it. Don't wait for approval. You know when you've put in the work. You know when you've given your best. And that's what should matter most. You're not doing this for applause. You're doing this because it's who you are. Because it's what you believe in. So decide what a win looks like for you today. Then make it happen. Do it with focus. Do it with commitment. And when it's done, take a moment to feel what that means. Not just another task off your list, but proof that you're still moving forward. The people who feel strong aren't born that way. They've just practiced being consistent. They've practiced staying committed. They've practiced building wins into their day, until it became normal, until it became part of their identity. You can do the same. You can stop waiting for confidence and start creating it. You can stop hoping to feel capable and start acting like you are. Capability grows with action. It grows with completion. So go win something today. And let that win remind you that you're not finished. You're just getting started. Chapter 6. Let go of regret and focus on right now. Most people carry the weight of their past around like it's part of who they are. They replay the same moments, the same mistakes, the same missed chances over and over again in their minds. They beat themselves up for what they should have done, what they didn't do, what they let slip. Regret is one of the most painful emotions a person can live with, not because of what actually happened, but because of how long they keep it alive. The truth is, regret does not fix anything. It only keeps you stuck. It holds your energy in the past and robs you of what's right in front of you. You cannot go back and relive yesterday. You can't undo the decisions that brought you here. But you can decide what to do with what's left. That's the power you have, and it starts with your focus. If your focus is always on what you could have done, you're wasting what you still can do. Every moment spent reliving old pain is a moment lost from creating something new. The only place you can take action is here. The only time you can make a change is now. You have to let yourself off the hook. You have to stop dragging the weight of your old self into every new day. You are not the same person you were back then. You know more now. You've felt more now. You've seen more now. You're growing. You're learning. And you don't have to punish yourself forever just because you didn't know what you know now. Growth is not about being perfect every step of the way. It's about recognizing when it's time to stop looking behind you. If something went wrong, admit it. Learn from it. But don't carry it any longer than necessary. Let it teach you and then move forward. That's what healing is. That's what progress is. It's not forgetting. It's not pretending. It's choosing not to live in the same place you got hurt. Sometimes regret hides itself as reflection. It feels like you're thinking deeply, but really you're just stuck in the same loop. And every time you go back, you reopen a wound that's already trying to close. Reflection should guide you, not haunt you. It should show you the lesson, not keep you in the pain. And the way to shift that is to take your attention off of what can't be changed and put it fully on what you can control. Right now is all you really have. Right now is where your next decision lives. Right now is where you get to choose if the past is going to define you or if it's going to teach you. You get to decide if you're going to keep replaying old mistakes or if you're going to use them as fuel to make stronger choices from this moment forward. You can't move forward with both hands gripping the past. You have to let go. And it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel like you're leaving something behind. But you're not leaving behind the lesson. You're leaving behind the punishment. There's a difference. One helps you. The other harms you. You don't owe your past a life sentence. You owe yourself a fresh chance to get things right. Letting go of regret doesn't mean what happened didn't matter. It means you've finally accepted that you can't keep living through it. It means you're ready to stop defining yourself by a single moment or a series of decisions that don't represent who you're becoming. You have more days ahead. You have more chances coming. But you won't be ready for them if your mind is still trapped in yesterday. The reason the present feels so dull sometimes is because it's being compared to a future that doesn't exist, or a past you can't fix. You're always in a state of disappointment, but the present isn't disappointing, it's just being ignored. If you slow down and look at what's in front of you, you'll realize there's so much still possible. There's so much that's still within reach. But you can only access it if you're here, not mentally stuck in what already happened. There are people who will spend the rest of their lives regretting what they didn't do. They'll talk about the things they missed out on, the opportunities they passed up, the people they lost, the chances they wasted. And every time they talk about it, you can hear the pain in their voice. But what they don't realize is that they're missing even more by not focusing on the present. They're adding new regrets while trying to process the old ones. It becomes a cycle that never ends unless you decide to break it. Breaking that cycle means making peace with imperfection. It means accepting that you've made choices that didn't serve you. It means realizing that you didn't always show up the way you wish you had. But it also means being honest enough to say, that's not where the story ends. You're still here. You're still breathing. You still get to write the next chapter. But it has to start with now. Take your attention back. Bring your focus to what's in front of you. If there's something you regret, ask yourself what lesson it gave you. Write it down. Get clear on it. And then make a promise to carry the lesson, not the guilt. Use the energy you've been wasting on what went wrong to build something that feels right. That shift alone can open doors you never even saw before. You don't rebuild your life by fixing the past. You rebuild it by showing up differently today, by keeping your word, by making better choices, by staying present, by caring about what you do, even if no one sees it. That's what creates pride. That's what builds peace. Not external validation, but the quiet knowing that you're giving this moment your full effort. When your mind starts drifting into regret, stop yourself. Ask, what am I doing right now that matters? What action can I take today that brings value? What habit can I improve? What conversation can I have? What truth can I accept? These are the things that move your life forward, not what you replay in your head, but what you do with your hands, your time, your focus. If you've been stuck in regret, forgive yourself. And I don't mean say the words, I mean really forgive yourself. Understand that who you were back then didn't know what you know now. Understand that healing doesn't come from shame. It comes from responsibility. From doing the next right thing over and over until your life starts to look different. And it will, if you give it your full attention. This is your time to show yourself who you can be when you're not distracted by regret. This is your time to create peace through discipline, not by trying to erase the past, but by building something stronger from the present. Every decision you make today is proof that you're not finished. Every step you take now is an act of self-respect. Every moment of presence is an investment in a future that won't carry the same weight of the past. Let go. Not because it's easy, not because it's painless, but because holding on hasn't helped you. It hasn't healed you. It hasn't moved you forward. And you deserve more than that. You deserve a life built from presence, not pain, from awareness, not avoidance, and from choice, not from chains. Focus on now. Give it your full effort. Respect this moment by showing up fully for it. Your past might have shaped you, but it doesn't have to decide what happens next. That's still in your hands. And what you do with it will mean everything. Chapter 7. Use your pain to build your inner strength. Pain is something every person knows. It's real. It's sharp. It shakes you to your core. Nobody chooses pain, but everyone experiences it. What separates those who grow from those who break is how they respond to pain. You can let pain crush you, or you can let it build you. That choice changes everything. The hard truth is pain doesn't disappear just because you want it to. It stays, but you can change what it means. You can turn pain into power if you're willing to face it head on. Pain often feels like a weight dragging you down. It isolates you. It makes you question your worth. It whispers lies that you're weak or broken beyond repair. But those are just stories. Pain is a signal, not a verdict. It's your body and mind telling you something needs attention. You don't have to be a victim of pain. You can become a student of pain. You can learn from it. You can use it as a tool to shape the strongest parts of who you are. Strength is not about avoiding pain or pretending it doesn't affect you. Strength is about showing up even when it hurts. Strength is about saying, "This is hard, this is painful, but I'm still here." When you face pain, you build resilience. Resilience is not something you're born with. It's something you develop by getting up each time you fall, by pushing through discomfort, by holding yourself steady when everything inside you wants to give up. Every difficult moment is an opportunity to grow tougher. Not tougher like harder or meaner, but tougher in spirit. Tougher in your ability to control how you respond. Tougher in your refusal to let pain define your future. When you stop running from pain, you start using it. You start turning wounds into wisdom. You start building inner strength that lasts because it's earned through experience. Think about the times you faced loss, failure, or disappointment. Those moments cut deep. They felt unbearable, but they also taught you something about yourself. Maybe you learned you're stronger than you thought. Maybe you realized you can survive even when things seem impossible. Maybe you discovered a part of you that refuses to quit. Those are not small lessons. They're the foundation of inner strength. People who never face pain don't grow much. Their strength is surface level. But those who stare pain down and say, "I will rise," build something real. They build character. They build confidence. They build a mindset that no setback can shake. That mindset becomes their greatest asset. It's what carries them through tough times and helps them seize opportunities others miss. Using pain to build strength requires honesty. You have to acknowledge what hurts. You can't pretend it's not there or bury it under distractions. When you name the pain, you take away some of its power. When you understand why it hurts, you start to heal. And healing is not just about feeling better. It's about growing wiser. It's about changing how you carry yourself in the world. Strength built on pain is not loud or flashy. It's quiet and steady. It shows up in your daily choices, in your ability to keep going when you feel tired, in your patience when things don't go your way, in your courage to keep trying when failure feels familiar. This kind of strength is deeply personal. It's a muscle you train every day by facing discomfort instead of avoiding it. When pain tries to stop you, remind yourself that this is the very moment to grow stronger. Use it as motivation to push forward. Use it as a reminder that if you keep moving, the pain will not have the last word. Every step forward is a victory against the weight of hardship. Every decision to stay committed is proof that your inner strength is growing. You don't have to hide your pain. Sharing it with trusted people can lighten the load. It can also remind you that you're not alone. Pain connects us. It's part of what makes us human. But connection also helps build strength because it gives you perspective. You learn that pain is temporary, that it changes, that it doesn't control your destiny. Your pain is part of your story, but it's not your entire story. You get to choose what comes next. You get to choose to build strength instead of bitterness, to build courage instead of fear, to build hope instead of despair. That choice is yours every day, and with every choice your inner strength becomes less a hope and more a reality. Look at your pain as a teacher, not a prison guard. Let it show you what you need to work on inside. Let it reveal your limits so you can push past them. Let it remind you that you have a well of strength you may have never tapped into. Pain is hard, but it's not the enemy. How you respond to it makes all the difference. You can use your pain to build a foundation that supports you in the future. A foundation that withstands storms. A foundation that grows deeper and stronger with every challenge. That foundation is your inner strength. It's built by facing your pain honestly, by learning from it, and by choosing to move forward anyway. If you've been avoiding your pain, it's time to stop. It's time to meet it head on. Not to be overwhelmed by it, but to understand it, to learn what it's teaching, to let it build the strongest version of you. That version is waiting. It's within you right now. The only thing between you and it is the choice to face your pain and use it to grow. You were never meant to be free of pain. You were meant to be stronger because of it. You were meant to prove that no matter what life throws at you, you can stand tall and keep going. The path isn't easy, but it's real, and the strength you build on it is the kind that lasts a lifetime. Chapter 8. Make progress even when your mind resists it. Progress is not always easy. Sometimes it feels like your mind is working against you. It's normal to resist change. The brain prefers comfort. It prefers safety. It prefers what is familiar, even if that familiarity keeps you stuck. The truth is, your mind will try to convince you to quit before you even start. It will make excuses. It will tell you you're not ready. It will tell you to wait for the right moment. But if you listen to those thoughts, you'll never move forward. You have to learn to make progress even when your mind resists. Resistance feels real. It feels like fear, doubt, confusion, or fatigue. It shows up as procrastination, distraction, or self-sabotage. When resistance comes, it's a signal that you're about to grow. It's a sign that you're stepping outside your comfort zone. Growth happens in discomfort. So resistance is not your enemy. It's a signal to keep going. The first step to progress is recognizing resistance when it appears. Don't ignore it. Don't pretend it's not there. Acknowledge the feelings and thoughts that want to stop you. But don't give them power. You don't have to believe everything your mind says. You can observe your resistance without letting it control your actions. This shift in perspective is powerful. It changes your relationship with your own thoughts. You become the observer, not the prisoner. Action is the key to overcoming resistance. You don't have to wait for motivation or perfect conditions. You just have to move. Even small steps count. Taking action weakens resistance. It breaks the cycle of fear and doubt. The more you act despite resistance, the stronger you become. You prove to yourself that you are capable of pushing through discomfort. That builds confidence and momentum. Making progress when your mind resists requires discipline. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is commitment to your goals, your values, and your future self. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's what keeps you moving when motivation fades. It's what helps you keep showing up, day after day. You can train your mind to work with you, not against you. One way is to build simple routines that don't require a lot of thought. Habits reduce the need for willpower. When something becomes a habit, your mind resists less because it becomes automatic. Start small. Build habits that support your progress. Over time, these habits will compound into big changes. Another strategy is to focus on your why. Why do you want to make progress? What will it give you? Who will you become? When you remind yourself of your purpose, it becomes easier to push through resistance. Your why is your anchor when your mind wants to drift away. It keeps you grounded in your intentions. Self-talk matters too. The way you speak to yourself influences your actions. Replace negative, defeating thoughts with positive, encouraging ones. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm getting better every day." This kind of self-talk rewires your brain and weakens resistance. Accountability helps as well. Share your goals with someone you trust. Check in regularly. Knowing that someone else is aware of your progress can motivate you to keep going. It adds an extra layer of commitment. Plus, you gain support when resistance feels overwhelming. It's important to be patient with yourself. Progress is rarely linear. You will face setbacks. You will have days when resistance wins. That's okay. It doesn't mean you've failed. It means you're human. What matters is getting back on track. Each time you overcome resistance, you build resilience. You get closer to your goals. Sometimes you need to change your environment to reduce resistance. Remove distractions. Create a workspace that supports focus. Surround yourself with people who encourage your growth. Your environment can either fuel resistance or help you move past it. Be intentional about where and with whom you spend your time. Celebrate progress, no matter how small. Every step forward is a victory over resistance. It's proof that you're capable. It's a reminder that change is possible. Celebrating progress keeps your motivation alive and strengthens your commitment. Remember, progress is a choice you make every day. It's choosing to act even when your mind says no. It's choosing growth over comfort. It's choosing yourself and your future. Your mind may resist, but you are stronger than your doubts. You have the power to move forward, one step at a time. Keep your focus on the process, not just the outcome. Progress is about daily actions and consistent effort. It's about building habits that serve you. It's about being patient and persistent. When you focus on the process, resistance loses its grip because you're committed to showing up, regardless of the results. The journey is never perfect, and resistance will always be part of it. But you can learn to work with your mind, to push through its doubts, and to keep making progress, no matter what. This is how real change happens. This is how you grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. This is how you build a life you're proud of. Chapter 9. Find your rhythm and keep showing up silently. There is a quiet power in finding your rhythm and committing to showing up day after day without fanfare or distractions. Life moves fast and loud, and it often demands attention to the flashy, the urgent, and the immediate. But true progress is built in the calm consistency of routine. When you find your own rhythm, your unique pace that fits who you are and what you want to achieve, you tap into a well of strength that can carry you through challenges and keep you grounded. This rhythm is your foundation. It's what allows you to keep going, even when no one is watching or applauding. Finding your rhythm means discovering a sustainable pace for growth and action. It's about understanding how you work best, when your energy is highest, and what habits fuel your progress. You don't have to move fast or loud to get results. You need to move steady. It's not about chasing others or comparing your journey to anyone else's. It's about honoring your own process and committing to it. When you commit to showing up silently, you stop seeking external validation. You stop needing approval or recognition for every step you take. This kind of discipline is quiet but fierce. It means you're working because you believe in the work itself, not because you want to impress others. You're building a life and character that no applause can define. This internal motivation is more powerful than any external reward. Showing up silently requires patience. Results don't always come quickly. The work you do behind the scenes, the habits you build, the discipline you cultivate, they often go unnoticed for a long time. But that doesn't mean they aren't happening. It means you're investing in something bigger than immediate satisfaction. You're building momentum that will carry you forward long term. You have to trust your rhythm even when it feels slow or when progress seems invisible. Trust that every day you show up, you're getting stronger, You're growing more capable. You're creating momentum that others won't see but you will feel. Trust that steady effort beats bursts of energy, followed by burnout. Trust that the small, consistent actions you take now will compound into meaningful change. One way to find your rhythm is to create simple daily routines that support your goals. These routines become anchors in your day. They remind you who you are and what you stand for. They take the guesswork out of decision-making and reduce mental fatigue. When your habits support your rhythm, showing up becomes easier. It feels natural. It feels right. Another key part of your rhythm is learning to listen to your body and mind. Sometimes you need to push hard. Sometimes you need to rest. Rhythm isn't about relentless hustle. It's about balance. It's about knowing when to act and when to recharge. Respecting this balance helps prevent burnout and keeps your commitment sustainable. It's a long game, not a sprint. Showing up silently also means being consistent with your values. It means living in integrity even when no one is watching. When you align your actions with your deepest beliefs, your rhythm becomes a reflection of who you truly are. This alignment fuels your motivation and keeps you grounded in your purpose. It's easy to get distracted by noise and comparison. Social media, other people's successes, or the pressure to prove yourself can pull you away from your rhythm. But true progress happens when you resist these distractions. When you keep your head down and your focus steady. When you show up not to compete, but to grow. This silent commitment creates a deep confidence that no external success can shake. Remember that showing up silently doesn't mean being invisible. It means your work speaks for itself. Over time, consistent effort leads to results that can't be ignored. Your rhythm becomes your signature. It's what makes you reliable, trustworthy, and strong. People will notice your growth, not because you shouted about it, but because it's undeniable. Building this rhythm takes practice and self-awareness. It means experimenting with your schedule, your energy, and your habits until you find what fits. It means setting boundaries to protect your time and focus. It means being honest with yourself about what's working and what's not. This process requires humility and patience, but it leads to lasting progress. The rhythm you build today shapes the future you live tomorrow. It's in the daily choices, the quiet work, and the steady commitment that transformation happens. When you keep showing up, even on days you don't feel like it, you strengthen your willpower and deepen your resilience. This is how you build a life of purpose and meaning. In moments when you feel discouraged or impatient, remind yourself of your rhythm. Remember that progress is not always visible immediately, but is happening under the surface. Trust the process. Trust your ability to keep moving forward in your own way and your own time. The power of your rhythm is that it is yours alone. No one else can live it for you or do it better. It's shaped by your experiences, your strengths, and your goals. Embrace that uniqueness. Use it to guide your actions and keep your momentum steady. Keep showing up silently, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Not because it's glamorous, but because it's real. Not because it will bring instant success, but because it will build the strongest foundation for your life. You don't have to prove anything to anyone else. The real proof is in your daily commitment. The real victory is in the habit of showing up, time and again, when it would be easier to stop. That silent, steady dedication is the root of all progress and growth. Find your rhythm, protect it, honor it, and let it carry you to places that no quick fixes or loud declarations ever could. Chapter 10. Become the person who never gives up early. Giving up is easy. It's the path most people take when things get hard. But success doesn't come to those who quit early. It comes to the person who refuses to give up, no matter how tough the road gets. Becoming someone who never gives up early means developing a mindset that pushes beyond discomfort, doubt, and disappointment. It means learning to see obstacles as part of the journey, not reasons to stop. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't often comes down to this one habit: persistence. Persistence is more than just stubbornness. It's not about blindly pushing forward without thought. It's about commitment to a goal combined with flexibility in your approach. It's understanding that failure is not a dead end, but a lesson. It's staying focused on why you started even when the path is unclear. This mindset creates a resilience that keeps you moving when others walk away. The first step to becoming this person is to accept that challenges will come. They are not signs that you're failing. They are signs that you're growing. Every obstacle you face is an opportunity to strengthen your resolve. When you expect difficulty, you prepare yourself emotionally and mentally to handle it. This preparation reduces the shock of setbacks and helps you keep going. It's important to shift your view of failure. Instead of fearing it, see failure as feedback. Failure tells you what doesn't work so you can try a different way. People who give up early often take failure personally. They see it as proof that they aren't good enough or that they're wasting time. But the person who never quits understands failure as part of the process, not the end of the process. Another crucial part of never giving up early is patience. Results rarely come overnight. It takes time to build skills, create opportunities, and reach goals. Patience means trusting the process even when you don't see immediate progress. It means showing up consistently day after day, knowing that your efforts are planting seeds that will grow later. Discipline supports patience and persistence. Discipline is what helps you keep going when motivation fades. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline keeps you working. This consistency is what separates the person who finishes from the person who stops halfway. Discipline turns your intentions into actions. It creates habits that make persistence possible. When your mind tells you to quit, remember your why. Why did you start? What do you want to achieve? Who do you want to become? Your why is the anchor that holds you steady during storms. It reminds you that the temporary discomfort is worth the long-term goal. Keeping your why in focus fuels your determination and helps you overcome moments of doubt. Support systems are valuable on this journey. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and your goals. Share your struggles and victories with them. Their encouragement can reignite your drive when your own energy is low. You don't have to carry the burden alone. Lean on those who lift you up, but don't let their doubts or negativity influence your commitment. Visualize your success. Picture the moment you achieve your goal. Feel what it will be like to overcome the obstacles in your way. This mental image creates a clear target to aim for. It makes the hard work feel more real and worthwhile. Visualization strengthens your resolve and keeps you moving forward. Celebrate small victories along the way. Each step forward is proof that you're making progress. Acknowledging these wins builds confidence and momentum. It reminds you that giving up early is not your only option. When you focus on progress, no matter how small, you reinforce the habit of persistence. Learn to manage your emotions. Frustration, fear, and disappointment are natural but temporary feelings. They don't have to control your actions. Developing emotional awareness allows you to pause, breathe, and choose your response rather than reacting impulsively. This control strengthens your ability to keep going even when it's tough. Sometimes you may need to adjust your plan but not your commitment. Flexibility means being willing to try new methods or paths without abandoning your goal. The person who never gives up early knows how to adapt without losing sight of the destination. This adaptability keeps progress moving forward despite setbacks. Remember that giving up early means losing more than just the immediate goal. It means losing the chance to prove your strength, to learn from the journey, and to discover what you're truly capable of. Persistence builds character. It teaches patience, courage, and resilience. These qualities serve you in every area of life, not just the goal you're chasing. Becoming the person who never quits early requires daily choices. It means deciding every morning that you will face the day with commitment. It means pushing through discomfort, ignoring doubts, and trusting in your ability to figure things out. This choice becomes a habit. Over time, it shapes your identity. Your story is not defined by the setbacks you face, but by how you respond to them. The person who gives up early writes a story of missed potential. The person who keeps going writes a story of strength and achievement. You have the power to choose which story you want to live. The road will be difficult, but it will also be worth it. When you refuse to give up early, you build a foundation for lasting success. You become someone who doesn't just hope for a better future but works for it every day. You become unstoppable in ways that inspire others. Keep pushing. Keep fighting. Keep believing in yourself even when the odds seem against you. Every step you take past the urge to quit is a step closer to the life you want. Becoming the person who never gives up early is the greatest gift you can give yourself. It's the key to unlocking your potential and creating a life you're proud of.